Hello, everyone. Take a minute and grab a drink, get comfortable. And if you have the PDF guide with you, you can open that up next to you. If you don't have that, you can message me and I can send that to you. Or if you are in the community, you can find it under the August section um, and grab it there. So, this is our month ahead. This is where we're going to focus on August energy and what it's bringing and go over any questions or anything that you guys have on the energy as well as your chart um, after this. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the shape of the month. This is the whole month in like one breath. So one quick little outline, okay? August is moving through six different energies, and when you read them together, they create a story. So we're first starting out in retreat, and we're going to pull back and let things settle. We're going to pause and reflect on the things that have happened in our past. Maybe it's the month, maybe it is your life, maybe it is just this past week or the most recent experience that is in your mind. And we're going to give ourselves permission to really take into account what worked for us and what didn't. And then we move into direction. And this is where clarity starts to emerge. We start to gather information for the vision that we have, for where we want to go, what we want to do, who we want to connect with. Okay. And then comes in answers. These are going to be from the questions of like, okay, well, I have the vision, I have the direction in mind, but how, when, where, what, why, those the details and the little nuance information that we don't always have in the beginning. Even if we have the vision for what we're going to do, these are going to start becoming a little bit more clear. And then we're going to move into commitment. And this is a chance for us to really say, yes, like I'm in, I'm interested. And you want it to kind of be a full body yes. You want it to be so clear that um, it doesn't make sense to do anything else. Like all the other options are obviously no, because this one is a yes. If you find yourself wavering on the commitment or the thing that feels like a full body yes, it may just be give it a little bit more time. Sometimes when we move into the energy, it doesn't happen right away. It's like a slow process to gain the actual thing that makes sense for us. And we might be given a couple opportunities that first feel like no's. The importance of this section is just getting very clear on what's a yes and what's a no. And then we're going to move into connection, where we deepen our bonds, we open our hearts to connection and to collaboration and to going along this vision together with other people. And then we go into delivery, where we're going to be sharing our gifts and we are going to be sharing our experiences and sharing our vision, the answers we got, what we're committed to, all of that with the people that we want to connect with. And then what's really important is after we share these gifts, we need to rest. We need to come back in and really connect with what's going on inside. So I'm going to throw up a little calendar here so you guys can see the gate changes. And when they're coming through so that you guys can get kind of a clear idea. The trajectory here and mark your calendars if you'd like. So we'll do a little week by week while you guys are working on your calendars here. The first week is retreat. It is taking a step back, finding out what worked, what didn't, and doing some things that feel not as draining, more um, integrating. Okay. And then um, the 5th through the 10th here, and a little bit into the 11th, we will be in 7 and 13. And that is going to be focused on what we are casting our vision for, where we are going. And I feel like this is the one where you might get this aha of this idea of a project to do or a goal to achieve, but it might not be fully clear on the details about it because starting the 11th to the 16th, that is where we are getting really clear. We get a lot of answers coming in. There's a lot of connection with other people, sharing resources, sharing ideas, sharing answers, sharing visions. And this one is going to feel a little bit like um, researching and learning kind of experience. And then we'll move into 29 and 30, the 17th through the 22nd. This one is where we get very clear on our yeses and nos. So people are going to come, they're going to um, share their visions, share the answers and the ahas they got, and kind of see, okay, are we on the same page, going in the same direction? Do we want to work together? Do we want to collaborate? Is this an alignment for both of us to do together? And you're going to almost kind of be like fielding the things that are good for you to do, not good for you to do, who you want to connect with, who you might not want to connect with. And remember, this is just for a season, just for a temporary part. Okay. And then we're going to go into a major collaboration phase where we're deeply connecting with people and our walls kind of soften and we allow real conversations and real vulnerability. There's going to be some real depth here this week. Okay. And then there is the sharing and resting. So given our gifts, we collaborated, we bonded, and now we're going to take the time to really settle in and rest. Okay? So that is the energy for this week. Now, I kind of want to go over what it might be like for those who have different energy types because it does show up differently for your energy type. So, manifestors, this is a great time to inform so that you're not getting a lot of backlash for when you want to retreat, when you want to do some research, when you want to collaborate, when you want to share, like just let your words and your information kind of lead the way here and make sure you're acting on the timing that's correct for you. Okay. Manifesting generators, this is an interesting experience because it's your natural cycle, is to embrace cycles of reflection, creation, and rest. That is the typical experience here for manifestors. So embrace that cycle and allow that to kind of just move through your work. Okay. Reflectors, take your time. You don't need to make decisions throughout this process in a very sharp timeline. You are here to really observe the experiences that you're having, the rooms that you're in, the energies that you're connecting to, the environment that gets created around you when you take time to reflect, when you take time to research, when you take time to see what might be a yes for you. Like all of that needs You being more of the observer type than feeling like you need to have the answers or do things so much. Um, Generators allow your response to be or your yeses to be a response and not reach. This is mainly because you don't want to get in your head. You don't want to analyze and figure out. And there is some time for research, obviously, but it's here to be a body yes. It's here to be a a body alert system when you need to take time for yourself. And when you get to that point where you're like, yes, this is for me, or yes, this is the person I want to connect with, it needs to be like a full body experience versus a mental one. Projectors, this is actually your season to be seen. So conserve yourself in the busy time periods where it is the bonding and collaborating because you are really reserving your energy and your gifts and your guidance for those moments. So, your role here is to do you, be yourself, show the world who you are and what gifts you have by just being you, and then allow those invitations to come in and start weeding through which invitations are good invitations for me, which ones are not. Um, and then once that gets kind of honed in, then you'll have been conserving your energy for the moment to actually guide and collaborate and work with people and then rest. Very important, rest after. So, overall, trust your type and authority as your compass for your journey. These are just kind of guidelines that you can run by. Okay. And then I'm not going to go over this one too much because the prompts are in the PDF, but I have a couple questions that can help you kind of gauge where your energy is at throughout this process. Okay. And the challenge is to embrace the real yeses, the true, authentic yeses, and then guard your time with rest and intention. You really need to allow yourself to reflect here because we don't want to start burnt out before we even collaborate, and we don't want to finish burnt out wishing that we had made some different choices in the long run. Okay? So now I'm going to open it up to the Q&A. I'm going to stop recording here. So if you want to join the Q&A, make sure you're on the next one so you can get your questions or your questions answered. And then for those of you who have anything that is on your mind or pressing and you couldn't make the phone call, I'm going to create a thread for you and it'll be an open Q&A for the month. And those of you who are also on the call, if something else pops up, it'll be an open Q&A for the month thread in the Skool. So if you're not in the Skool community, make sure you head over there. And then we will keep a running thread there of Q&As, the quick questions and answers. We won't go into too much detail on those, more detail on the calls so that you can get a more personal experience. But yeah, I'm very excited. Thank you guys for being here. And I'm excited to get into the Q&A. So let's go.